think Buddhism is changing as it's come to the West. This is very historical also, as Buddhism has gone from one culture to another, from India to Southeast Asia to Tibet, China, Japan, Korea. Each culture has kind of put its own stamp on it.
The United States has one of the most diverse sets of Buddhisms, or diverse sets of Buddhists, probably at any point in the history of Buddhism, all in the same place. In one city, you'll have 4 or 5 different Tibetan centers, 4 or 5 Theravadan centers, 3 or 4 Zen centers, several Pure Land centers, all in one city. And you can't find that kind of mix in China, Japan, India, or any of those other places.
Buddhism does offer many kinds of practice to people. There has been this firm belief by a lot of Buddhists that you can try different means of practice according to your own personality. For some people it's better to meditate, whereas for others it's better to do chanting of the sutra or chanting of Buddhist names.
When you practice, whether bowing or sitting or chanting, there's a moment where the self is forgotten. And when the self is forgotten, it's a realization experience. What has been forgotten is the concept of the self. And because you've forgotten the concept of the self, you become one with everything, or one with the universe. Before, there's always a separation between you and the world or others. But when the self is forgotten, then we have the entire world.
What the Buddha taught was to be here now, to be in the moment, be present, and to be totally authentic. And he didn't teach about anything holy or anything spiritual. He just taught about how each of us can return to our totally authentic self. And then he taught that the more authentic we become, the more compassionate, the more wise we become. And you know, society has made that sound boring now, but it can be great.
Spiritual practice, I think, is as necessary to life as anything we do, because it's really about awakening. And it's about the difference between being lost in a dream or being awake to what we're doing. When we're lost in thoughts, lost in emotions, lost in our stories, there's no choice. We're simply acting out our conditioning. Patterns of anger, of fear, of greed, of lust, there's a long list. The practice of mindfulness, of awareness, is a way of seeing all that in ourselves. And it's through the seeing that we can then make choices. Does this lead to happiness? Does it lead to suffering? For myself, for other people. And so it's really the gateway to freedom. And without inner awareness, there's no possibility of freedom. So it's a big thing. This is a very big thing. This is not about a weekend workshop. This is about our life and how we live our life and coming to the depths of understanding.
The United States is in a very interesting position right now, because we have, on the one hand, many converts to Buddhism, and we also have large numbers of fairly recent Asian immigrants, many of whom are Buddhist. So we have this enormous variation. And it certainly complicates the question of what does being a Buddhist mean to you, and we know that it means very, very different things to different people. And I think that the challenge is to be accepting and respectful of each other's views and each other's ways.